Sir,
I
I
will.
didn't ask you about. I didn't ask you about any of that. I asked you if you
I
understand.
will, however,
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me. I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he continues to interrupt me and not let me finish what I'm saying.
let me speak to.
I've muted Mr. Matson again because he unmuted himself and interrupted me.
This one kicks off with a courtroom that's already simmering, and then, wow, we meet a sovereign citizen who's absolutely off his rocker. I mean, the guy comes in talking about being a living soul allowed to use that.
Required to advise you at all stages of the proceeding that you do have a right to be represented by an attorney, and if you can't afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you at public expense. Do you understand that?
I don't think you'd be violating your oath of office, Your Honor, by allowing me to the right to a fighting clause.
Sir, I didn't ask you about. I didn't ask you about any of that. I asked you if you understand.
I will, however,
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me. The question I asked you is whether you understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney.
I do understand I have a right to be represented by an attorney or not. Yes, sir.
Okay. You've previously waived that right. As I said, I have to advise you that at every stage of the hearing. So I have to ask you again, would you like to be represented by an attorney at this point?
As I started to say, Your Honor, I don't want the representation. However, I will use the help of handling paperwork due to my means here and having access to certain things in paperwork. I will use your court-appointed attorneys just to help with some paperwork.
Okay, so you don't have a right to have the public defender's office do your paperwork or handle any of that. You have the right to have them represent you or not represent you. So that is your choice.
Not represent me, that's fine then.
All right. So you've previously been arraigned on the probation violation. Do you know how you want to proceed? So your options are you can plead to it if you want, which means you'd be admitting guilt. The other option is that I can set it for a hearing and we can have a hearing on the matter, and then I'll decide based on the evidence submitted at that hearing.
Your Honor, all due respect, I wish, are you working under oath of office today, sir?
Sir, I'm not going to answer these questions or deal with this. We've dealt with you before and your sovereign citizen arguments. I've rejected them all.
Citizen.
Sir, do not interrupt me. Do you want to have a hearing or do you want to plead?
I'll take your silence under your oath, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to have a hearing or do you want to plead?
I want the hearing. I want to go to trial. I want to go within the 90 days to a trial or sooner.
All right. So Sierra will need about a 1-hour hearing on a probation violation.
As well as I'd like you to have the arresting officers that arrested me on that day. I would like their sergeant to be dressed in uniform and at that trial on that day as well, please.
Yeah, you heard me right, and he's rambling about legal codes, credit numbers, all in some weird mix of upper and lower case, like that's going to magically make him untouchable.
All right. I think it will go more smoothly if you are here in person. So we will have you in person here from the jail.
All right. Exactly what the hearing is going to be on that day.
So you've been charged with a violation of the terms of your probation.
Yeah.
For failing to report. So the hearing is going to be to determine whether or not you failed to report.
Okay, so it's going to be the trial that day.
Correct.
Okay, can I have the state police sergeant there at that trial?
What state police sergeant?
The state police sergeant of the arresting officers on the night of my arrest.
Who are the arresting officers?
I don't remember the exact names, but any state police sergeant in uniform would do.
Why do you want any state police sergeant to be present at the trial?
Just to show how arrests are made, and why they're made, and how they do the determination, how they bring people into jail.
Well, how is any of that relevant to whether or not you violated the terms of probation?
I believe there's a lot of relevancy there. I don't
All
see
right,
where I don't see where any of it's going to affect the courts in any way, shape, or form.
All right, so the issue that the court is going to determine has nothing to do with things that happened during your arrest. The issue is whether or not
It's not about the arrest. It's about the arrest for the violation of probation as well.
All right, the only issue before the court that day is going to be whether or not you reported. So your arrest doesn't have any relevancy to that. So I'm not going to.
I beg to differ, Your Honor. I beg to differ because the jury is going to be a jury of my peers, and at this time,
sir,
you're not going to have a jury of my peers.
Sir, there's not going to be any jury. You're not entitled to a jury trial on a hearing about violating your probation.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I'm pretty sure that last time I spoke to you, you said that I had the right to a jury trial for determining if I was guilty for a violation of probation.
I've never seen you on this violation of probation.
I've seen you, or I've seen you just the other day, last week.
No, you didn't. A different judge conducted that hearing.
You're Michael Olsaver, aren't you? There was Judge Sloan, and then there was you. I've seen both.
You did not see me last week.
I did.
And so you're not entitled to a jury trial on a probation violation. So again, we will have you back in person on.
Well, hold up then. So if I'm not entitled to a trial to determine if I'm guilty or not, this is a criminal court, isn't it?
It's a criminal court where you have already pled guilty to a felony and been placed on probation.
Because I was at risk of dying in this.
I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he continues to interrupt me and not let me finish what I'm saying. Mr. Matson, I was saying that this is a criminal court wherein you have pled guilty to possessing a controlled substance, and you were placed on probation. As a result of that, your sentence was to be placed on probation. Subsequent to being sentenced to probation, there was an allegation that you failed to report in accordance with the terms of your probation. That is an alleged violation of probation. There's no right to a jury trial for a violation of probation. So the court will conduct.
Let me speak to.
I've muted Mr. Matson again because he unmuted himself and interrupted me. We will have you back on April 8th at 3:30, Mr. Matson. This hearing is concluded.
You could practically see the judge roll her eyes through the screen. She's calm, measured, but there's this steel in her voice. And honestly, she doesn't have time for this nonsense. The second he starts with his ridiculous commentary, she shuts it down, muting him, warning him, basically saying, I don't need to hear this, and you're not going to control this courtroom. And suddenly, when the word bench warrant comes up, it's like someone flipped a switch. Panic instantly hits him. It's almost comical watching the guy go from Supreme Court level ego to sweating like a guilty kid in a second. You can see the act evaporate the moment real consequences appear. This is classic. As soon as the law actually talks back, the whole sovereign citizen persona crumbles. Now, the court isn't here for theatrics. The judge walks him through it slowly, explaining that he's here because he hasn't been making his child support payments. Simple. Clear. Not rocket science. But of course, he's trying to argue that he's above all of it. Tossing out all caps names, questioning whether this is even an Article 3 court, bringing up promissory notes from 2017. Like somehow that's going to get him off the hook. The judge is having none of it. She lays it out plainly. The bond he posted, or, let's be honest, a friend posted on his behalf, is going to be applied to his outstanding obligations. Kiss it goodbye, buddy. And honestly, can we just take a moment to imagine lending this guy money? He's in court arguing the laws don't apply to him while holding up whatever paper he thinks gives him a get-out-of-jail-free card. Absolute chaos. The highlight here is watching the sovereign citizen squirm under the simplest legal explanations. Every time the judge speaks, he tries to insert some pseudo-legal mumbo-jumbo that doesn't even relate to the case, only to be muted or reminded that, no, This isn't how it works. Jurisdiction isn't optional, buddy. You can't opt out because you feel coerced or because you read some internet forum that told you so. And the court moves forward, calmly, decisively, referring the case to the referee to monitor payments going forward, ensuring the law actually gets applied while he's left flailing in the background.
I've never seen you on this violation of probation. No, no, you didn't. A different judge conducted that hearing. Yes, I did. You did not see me last week. And so you're not entitled to a jury trial on a probation violation. So, um, again, we will have you back in person on Monday.